if India had resorted to organized violence against the foreign occupiers in the 1920s, then there is no way the British could have resisted India if it was organized and coordinated. Because how many British individuals were in India at the time? About 100,000, 120,000, 1.2 lakhs. India had a population of 300 million. Let's say half are adults. So 150 million. If 150 million rise up in coordination against 1 lakh people, they will last not more than 24 hours. So if a leader like Gandhi, who had so much mass appeal, if instead of pacifying the people of India, if he had given a clarion call to wipe out the invaders, then I think India would have been free in 24 hours. And Gandhi had taken over the leadership of the Congress by the 1920s, didn't he? So I think he delayed India's independence by at least 2.5 decades. That is my very clear assessment about this. Because see, what we received is independence or a transfer of power on the terms decided by the British. That is never the way you gain real sovereignty. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk was very clear that that sovereignty is not handed over to you. It is something you grab with your own two hands, with force, with violence. So it is an illusion that we became independent. It was simply a transfer of power from one set of crooks to another set of crooks on the terms of the British. So that's what happened, and that is what Gandhi shepherded for more than 2 decades. He ensured that independence was given to India on the terms of the British. What's interesting is Gandhi's views about Hitler and the Jews. So apart from this letter, Gandhi had exhorted the Jews to die if required, just the same way he exhorted the Hindus to die in the Malabar genocide and other things. Right. Give up your lives and don't resist. So Gandhi had the same opinions about the Jews. He exhorted the Jews in a separate letter or in some other writings to, if required, just die, so that the oppressors can realize how wrong they are. Because all of you died, that's why they will eventually feel a sense of guilt, and then they will realize that they were wrong. So Gandhi's entire philosophy was that of pacifism, of inaction, of passivity, and of defeatism. So that is the real issue I have. And the thing is, see, he was supposedly the leader of the Indians. He was shepherding India's freedom struggle, supposedly. Then my question is, why did he have to dabble in other world affairs? Was he some great world leader or something? Did he actually have any locus standi to write to Hitler or something? If he's the leader of the Indians, then why was he not concentrating on the freedom struggle of India? He was dabbling in affairs in the Second World War in Europe. He was writing to Hitler. I think he wrote to other people also. Yes. So it's as if, he had a lot of hobbies on the side, which took up more of his time than his actual supposed work of bringing India to freedom. Gandhi was a racist. Gandhi was clearly a racist. It is clearly borne out in his own writings. It's not a claim I am making. The writings are available online. They are freely available. The writings are so voluminous that it is hard to find the specific piece of writing that I'm referring to, but he has referred to these matters on several occasions. There is an excerpt in the book called The South African Gandhi, in which he clearly says, I think it's in the South African Gandhi or elsewhere, but he has written this on record, saying that the white race should be the predominating race. Right. Indians are secondary. They are subsidiary to the white race. The white race should always be the predominating race. He said that the Indians are Aryans, so they are somewhat akin to the white people, so they should be given certain benefits and certain things. Right. And the Africans are the lowest of the races. That's what he was very clear about. He was very much a racist, if you look at his own writings. So I do not see anything wrong with the perception in Ghana or in other parts of Africa that Gandhi was actually not some kind of messiah. He was a racist. He served the British crown. He has written it on the record that I spent more than, I don't know how many years serving the British crown. And I have put my own life in danger, at least on 3 occasions in the service of the British crown. So he was a servant of the British, and he was very much demonstrably a racist based on his own writings. In the matter of someone like Mohandas Gandhi, he is a very prominent historical figure. He has, in a way, shaped the fortunes of the Indian subcontinent. So I think it is worthwhile to analyze even his personal life. I typically don't care. I refrain from going into personal lives, but in this case, I think it is a valid question. So what we find is that this great Mahatma, who is considered to be a Mahatma, he subjugated an underage girl to this sort of behavior. And the behavior that he is known to have indulged in, I think it is a criminal offense in any civilized country, in any civilized society. I think he would go to jail if he would do some. If a person would to do something like that today, that person would deservedly go to jail. This is perversion. And he was not some teenager who did not know what is right, what is wrong. He was not a teenager who could not control his impulses. He was an elderly person. And he subjected this underage girl to such horrific experiments. Now, what does it say about a person? Isn't this the worst form of hinsa? Isn't this violence of the worst kind? But doing something like this to a child who doesn't even understand what's happening to her. I mean, it shows you the mental depravity and the kind of character this person had. He is supposed to be a Mahatma, but I mean, in which dharmic sense are you allowed to indulge in such a sort of behavior? This is depravity of the worst kind. It tells you that he did not truly behave, he did not truly believe in ahimsa. He was somebody who would prey upon the weak and the helpless. And this demonstrates this clearly. It is his own grandniece, a girl of his own blood, of his own family, that he subjected this to. And I think he did this to other girls also, other women also. So he was a monster. He used the power differential he had over other people in the worst possible way. So I think it clearly exemplifies the kind of individual he truly was. He was not a Mahatma, he was a monster.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.